All right, so one of the questions submitted was, how did I make the transition from general contractor to developer? So I'm going to run by the first few projects that I did as a developer. So I had a general contracting firm, and I was working for other developers that were hiring me to build properties for them. And right here I'm driving by, if you can't see, these are beach houses down on the Outer Banks. These are three of the first houses that I ever built as a developer. And what I did was I partnered with a developer. So it's those three right there. Those are 6 to 8 bedroom houses with rec rooms, pools, hot tubs, that kind of thing. And they rent for $60,000 to $70,000 a year. So anyways, I was working for a bunch of developers that were coming down to the Outer Banks, buying properties to rent, building properties, and they were hiring me to do it. So I learned from them, and what I learned was that the money was in the delegation, becoming a leader, delegator, motivator. So what I learned was what developers do is they create opportunity. They find land, they maximize that property. Here's another one right here. One of the first ones that I ever did, nice beach house. That's an 8-bedroom house right there. Rec room, 8 master suites, does about 80, 90,000 a year, that one does. So anyways, what the developers taught me was, what you want to do is you want to find the property, maximize the property, bring the financing to the table, create the value, and leverage the talents and abilities of others. So you leverage the general contractor. So the people that make the real money in the business are the developers, okay? So the developers are the ones that bring all the pieces together and leverage and outsource. So I learned from these guys. They were all very successful. They were doing really well, all kinds of different projects all over the country, and they were able to travel and do things and own their own time. And here I was as a general contractor. I had this company that I built up, and I was busy every day running the company, which was fine. So what I learned how to do was I learned how to put that business on autopilot. So once I had that company on autopilot, I had systems in place, I had people in place to run the company. It became an investment. At that point, I transitioned from a business owner to an investor, and that company was an investment. I used the cash flow from that company to invest in other deals. So I did these first few deals with a partner who was a developer, who taught me how to develop property, taught me how to do spec houses, things like that. And then I started going out and doing my own projects and started building my own spec houses and started developing property and reinvesting the profits into other deals, and just one deal at a time, one project at a time. And then I would do multiple projects. When I say one at a time, I mean, I started with, these 3 or 4 houses, then I started doing my own houses. Then at the same time, I was developing land, doing commercial buildings, things like that. So I kept the general contracting firm up until 2004, 2005. I sold that company, and then I transitioned into full-time outsourced development, where I was hiring general contractors to work for me to do my projects for me, because it did not make any sense to be a general contractor anymore. What I was finding was I was making money developing properties, building and selling spec houses, but whenever I worked for homeowners and doing custom homes, it was very difficult, took a lot longer, and it was harder to make money. But if you build a spec house, the market was increasing, values were going up. This was back before 2009, so the money was being loaned on the value of the property, not the cost. So I could build these things with no money out of my pocket, and it took a little bit of money to get them up and going until you started getting your bank draw. So I would use the cash flow from my other businesses to fund the startup of these projects. But basically, that's how I transitioned. I started with doing a few houses as a partner with a developer who taught me the business. Then I stepped out on my own, started doing my own projects. Then I sold my building company, and I used all of my profits and cash that I had acquired over the years and stockpiled, and started investing in my own deals. And I educated myself. So I learned from other people, learned from mentors, learned from other developers, and reinvested my profits into bigger and bigger deals. And in 2004 or 5 is when I transitioned into full-time development, started hiring other contractors to work for me and build my properties for me. So I could do a whole lot more different things, different types of projects, and not have to worry about managing the day-to-day. So that's how I transitioned from general contractor to developer, and that's what I do now. Is I develop projects all over the place, and I've got general contractors, architects, engineers that all work for me. Everything is outsourced. I'm a leader, delegator, motivator, so it enables me to do bigger projects pretty much anywhere, and then own my time, so I'm not tied up day-to-day on any particular project. Same thing with businesses. You know, you want to invest in businesses, own businesses that you don't have to work in day to day. You lead, delegate, motivate, mentor your partners and the people that work for you in those companies, and that way you're not tied down to the day-to-day. Use those profits to invest in other assets. So if you have any questions, if you want me to make a video answering any questions or addressing any topics, feel free to post in the comments. I'll make some videos answering your questions. It's been a lot of fun with the questions I've been getting. So post in the comments. I'll be glad to make a video for you to answer questions or to cover a topic that you want to know about, want to learn more about, want to hear more about. So let me know what you want to hear, what you want to know. I will make videos to cover those. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next video.